On the 11th of November 1918, fighting continued until precisely 11 o'clock. In the final hours before peace, 2,738 casualties occurred, as commanders launched attacks for honor, not necessity. The last soldier perished 1 minute before the armistice took effect. Welcome to Clear Lens History, where we cut through the fog of time to reveal the unbiased truths of the past. Using data-driven insights, we explore pivotal events that shaped our world. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Clear Lens History for more content like this. In Part 2, we shall explore the major battles that attempted to break the trench deadlock and examine how the war ultimately concluded through military records, soldiers' testimonies, and strategic analysis. We'll observe how tactical evolution and new technologies gradually overcame the defensive advantages of trench warfare. The Battle of the Somme, commencing on the 1st of July 1916, epitomized the scale of trench warfare. The British began with a 7-day bombardment, expending 1,700,000 shells. However, many shells proved defective. Up to 30% failed to explode. German positions were deeper than anticipated, with concrete bunkers extending 40 feet underground. When 100,000 British soldiers advanced on the 1st of July, they encountered intact machine gun positions and uncut barbed wire. The result was 57,470 casualties in a single day, including 19,240 killed, the bloodiest day in British military history. Lieutenant Alfred Bundy described the horror. An appalling rifle and machine gun fire opened against us, and my men commenced to fall. I dropped into a shell hole and occasionally attempted to move, but bullets were forming an impenetrable barrage. Yet the Somme continued for 141 days, with British tactics evolving through painful experience. The Battle of Verdun, lasting from February to December 1916, demonstrated trench warfare's capacity for sustained destruction. German Chief of Staff Erich von Falkenhayn chose Verdun to bleed France white, believing its symbolic importance would compel France to defend it, regardless of cost. French casualties reached 377,000, whilst German losses totaled 330,000. The strategy proved self-defeating, as both sides suffered equally. French soldier Louis Barthès described Verdun as a furnace of fire, where men fought for mere yards of ground. The French developed the Voie sacrée, the sacred way, a supply route with lorries running continuously to maintain the garrison. Artillery techniques evolved rapidly, with both sides developing counter-battery methods to target enemy guns rather than merely infantry positions. Chemical weapons introduced unprecedented horror while spurring rapid technological development. First used effectively by Germans at Ypres in April 1915, chlorine gas created panic among unprepared Allied forces. The development escalated rapidly through phosgene to mustard gas, which caused blindness, lung damage, and agonizing skin burns. By war's end, chemical weapons had caused over 90,000 deaths and 1.2 million injuries. Sergeant Major George Brown of the Canadian Corps described a gas attack. Men were caught like rats in a trap, gasping and choking. Gas warfare drove innovation in protective equipment, from simple cloth filters to sophisticated respirators. The introduction of tanks in 1916 promised to break the stalemate. At Cambrai in 1917, 476 tanks achieved initial breakthrough before German counterattacks restored the line. By 1918, armies had learned to combine new tactics with emerging technologies. German stormtrooper infiltration methods, described in Ernst Junger's Storm of Steel, initially succeeded in the spring offensive by abandoning frontal assaults for targeted penetrations. These tactics involved small groups advancing through weak points, bypassing strong positions to attack command centers. Combined with sophisticated artillery, German forces achieved breakthrough for the first time since 1914. However, German forces became overextended as they advanced faster than supply lines could follow. Allied counteroffensives, now coordinated with improved artillery and tank support, began pushing German lines back systematically. The arrival of fresh American troops provided crucial reinforcement for exhausted Allied forces. By autumn 1918, German military leadership recognized the war was lost. The armistice took effect at 11 a.m. on November 11, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Yet fighting continued until the final minute, as some commanders ordered attacks to maintain military honor rather than preserve lives. Military records reveal that 2,738 casualties occurred on the war's last day. American Private Henry Gunther was killed at 10:59 a.m., 1 minute before the ceasefire, charging a German machine gun position that his own unit tried to stop him from attacking. German records show their forces were ordered to defend positions until the last possible moment, while some Allied commanders launched unnecessary attacks to capture territory before the deadline. These final hours demonstrated how military culture could override human life, even with peace at hand. The contrast between sectors was stark. In some areas, informal truces had developed hours or even days before the official armistice, with both sides recognizing the war's end. In others, artillery continued firing until 10:59 a.m., with the last shells landing seconds before silence fell across the Western Front. Trench warfare fundamentally changed military strategy, while revealing both human adaptability and the costs of industrial warfare. The Western Front became a laboratory where armies learned to coordinate artillery, infantry, tanks, and aircraft in ways that would influence military thinking through World War II and beyond. The trenches tested human endurance while demonstrating warfare's capacity to drive technological and tactical innovation. From gas masks to tanks, from radio communications to aerial reconnaissance, the technologies developed in response to trench warfare's challenges shaped the modern military. The human cost was staggering, over 8 million dead on the Western Front alone. Yet the armies that emerged in 1918 were vastly different from those that had marched to war in 1914, having learned hard lessons about industrial warfare's realities. Understanding trench warfare's evolution helps us appreciate both the tragedy of the Great War and the remarkable human capacity to adapt under extreme circumstances. The trenches of World War I were not just monuments to futility, but crucibles of military transformation that echo through history. Thanks for watching Clear Lens History. Subscribe for more data-driven explorations that illuminate the past through factual analysis rather than speculation alone.